Hello, I am Munir Hoque and welcome to my Android app development tutorial. So far we have learned ViewModel, LiveData and ViewModelFactory. Today, rather than learning new things, we will add a new exciting feature into our app. We will add a countdown timer which will eventually use LiveData to update its time and state. After adding the timer with help of LiveData, our app will look like this. So we press the play button and here we can see a little timer, and we can press any button here and the question will keep coming until the timer goes to 0. So when it goes to 0, our score will be shown. So this is our app. Now we have seen what we are going to build today, so let's jump into code without any further talking. We will use the timer with the help of Android countdown timer. This is the Android countdown timer, which is a built-in object, built-in widget in Android. We will use it, but before using it, we will rather see an example provided by this developer.android.com. And here we can see the countdown timer takes two parameters. One is the total time and another one is the number of milliseconds in 1 second. This is a unit number of time. So in our case 30,000 is the total time, and both these data are in long data type. Those are long data type, and here there are two functions. One is onTick and another one is onFinish. OnTick is called on every second and onFinish is called when the total time is finished. So our method will be, we will use this countdown timer inside our view model, and we will use a live data to check whether the timing is finished or not, and depending on the live data we will go further on like navigating our app to another fragment. First of all, inside our puzzle view model we will add two variables like val, which will be countdown timer, and which will be, in our case we will take 15,000 milliseconds, so it will be 15,000, and we must add L, and there we will also define the 1 second for every tick. 1 second, then it will be 1000 L. So basically this countdown timer will be used as this parameter, and the 1 second for every number of millisecond in a second will be used as this argument. We will add another variable named done, and which will indicate that we have done, it will be 0, we have done with the timing, our timing has been finished. So we will create a we will define an variable of countdown timer here. So let init var it will timer will be type of countdown timer, and we will create another live data which will we will say the current time to indicate the what is the current time. So it will be val current time, it will be mutable live data, mutable live data, and it will be the type of long. So as those values are long, so we will use long to track our current time. Okay, after that we need to instantiate our timer object like in this example. So we will do this, instantiate the timer object inside init, because we want to use the timer just after starting the fragment. So it will be, the timer will be timer equals, as we don't have any new keyword in Kotlin, it is in Java, so it is new, we don't have new, so we use object countdown timer, countdown timer, and we will take two parameters. One is countdown timer and another one is 1 second. Okay, and we will create these two functions, sorry. So this onTick, and this onTick function will be called on every tick or every second. So, and we want to get the value for every second, and we want to store the value and update the value for the current time live data. So it will be current time dot value, and it will be this millisecond finish. So millisecond finished divided by number of milliseconds in 1 second. So it will be 1 second. Okay, also we need to implement the onFinish method. So onFinish, and this method will be called when the entire time is finished. So here we will at this moment we want to change our game finish object. So initially the game finish live data value was false, and as our timing is finished, we want to say that yes, our game is finished. So we want to make it here we want to make it true, that indicating that our game has been finished. So game dot value, and it will be true, and also our timing and also the current time will be 0. So the current time dot value will be this done. So done. Okay, and at last we will start our timer object. So it will be timer dot start. Okay, so one thing is we have started our timer here, but we need to close the timer, because once if the view model is get closed, our ViewModel object can be closed or destroyed along with our fragment or activity. So there is a function to track down the closing event of a view model. So it is cleared. It is named as onCleared, which is called when our view model gets closed. So in this onCleared method we will cancel our timer. So timer dot, it will be cancel. Okay, now we have to change the logic of game finish. So formerly we used when the word list is empty, we signal that game finish equals true, but we are using timer right now. We are using timer. So and when the timer is finished, we are saying that our game will be finished only when the timer is finished. So here rather than we will delete this line and we will say load again. So load data. Okay, so for this using this calling this function, we'll load the data from our list, from our word puzzle list data, and our game will be finished only when our timing countdown timer is completed or finished. After that, we would like to see the timer and all those changes inside our fragment. So we will go to our fragment and create a live data object. So it will be puzzle view model dot current time. This time we will observe our current time. So it will be current time dot observe, and it will be view lifecycle owner, view lifecycle owner, and we will use observer, and inside the lambda function. Okay, let me show you one thing. We go to our fragment puzzle.xml file, the XML file, and here in the design section, in the XML section, we see a, okay, let me make it little zoom. Okay, we see a text view here, and this text view will show the timer. Okay, so going back to fragment puzzle, and inside our observer for this current time, so we will write text underscore timer, and we will change this text according to our value. So our value is in long format, but we want to show it as a string. So there are formatted strings. So there is a function named date utils dot format elapsed time, and we will pass the it, our long. So this function, this is a utility function, date utility function, and date utility class, and it has a function named format elapsed time, which will do the necessary formatting for us from long to string. So when we run this app, let's check our app, and here is our app. We press play, and we can see a nice little timer here, and we can press anything. Okay, and we can press any button, and we can see our words are coming until the timer is 0. So this showing that our words is coming because we define here that next word for load data, and our game is finished only when our current time value is done or 0. So this is a nice little example of using live data in our project, and it's also an example of how to use countdown timer with help of live data to add a timer in your project. So that's all. This is all about our tutorial. If you like this, please give a like, and if you have any suggestion or question, please ask me in the comment box. Thank you.